So hi everyone, I'm Caroline and I'm a personal trainer, nutrition coach and yoga teacher. I always have to remember I don't forget one on that. And today we're going to discuss intention as part of the Spirit Strength series, aren't we?
We are. So we've got Yorkshire Burrito Co. Hey there. So I'm Rachel Glendinning and I'm the founder of the Healing Hub. I'm a practitioner and I work a lot with stress and anxiety. So what we're going to do today is give you some inspiration and chat about intention and the importance of intention, and let you join in and share your own words of wisdom with us. So yeah, drop anything in the comments that you want to share with us about intention. Do you want to start off, Caroline, with your first tip?
Absolutely. So remember everyone, this is in the context of like strength in mind, body and spirit. So when I started thinking about intention, I started thinking about what a life that is unintentional looks like. So I started trying to think about the opposite. And I think when we're unintentional in life, it kind of came to me that quite often we feel like things just happen to us. And sometimes we can almost feel like a bit of a victim or an onlooker to our lives. And therefore, I kind of thought that actually when we bring some intention to it, we bring a bit more personal power into it, and we can think ahead of like the energy, the purpose, the joy that we want to bring to the situation. And therefore, there's more choice rather than just life happening to us. We can choose how we respond in these situations. What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm just going to say hi to everyone joining. Hey, Louise. Hey.
Hi, Louise.
So yeah, drop any comments or any questions that you've got for us about intention. Today's all about intention and why we should consider intention and maybe what it brings and benefits to our own lives. So when I got thinking about intention, for me, I think the important thing is that I really sense that we can benefit from it and use it in any aspect of our life. It can be the question of what's the intention behind a relationship we're in, or if we want to go dating, what's our intention? Because there's a big difference in intention if you're going on a dating site and you want to just have fun, or you're looking for your husband. And I think coming back to what you said, Caroline, that I think when you know what your intention is behind an action taking, it brings, yes, energy, but it also brings clarity. And clarity is power in itself. The clearer we are about why we're doing something. And here's the thing, here's what I know in my own life. Then if you give that clarity to yourself and then you give it to the universe, or you give it out to whatever your idea of the universe, God, or whatever your idea of that is, then you align with it and you get back more likely what you're wishing for. So if you're on, let's give the example of being on a dating site, and you're really clear about what your intention is behind being there, then also, as Caroline was saying, you've got more choices and probably your boundaries are strongest. So if someone comes wanting, you know, a hookup with you and you're really clear on your intention that you want to find your husband, then you're going to be much more powerful in the actions you're taking and your boundaries, I would say, as well. And I'm just giving that example.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Yeah. And like in that context of dating, it means like the date doesn't just happen to you. The relationship doesn't just happen to you, because as you said, you've already brought that intention and those boundaries, and that shapes from the very start what that looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of a lot to do with the why behind the why I'm doing something. And you know what? It can be a sentence that came to mind was sometimes we can end up in situations or someone can say to us, oh, that wasn't my intention. I'm really sorry, that wasn't my intention. So yeah, I think for me, it's about why I'm doing something, which then gives us the feeling of control, like you were saying, Caroline.
Yeah. And I think that feels powerful rather than the opposite, because then you have more space, you have more choice, and it doesn't feel like that choice is like taken away from you. And my kind of next thing about intention, as I was thinking about this, was I think a big thing for me was not actually that we should be doing things differently necessarily. Like our health, our relationships, our fitness, whatever it is, we don't have to keep chopping and changing and doing different things. Instead, with intention, for me, it's about framing stuff differently. And therefore, like, you might still be doing the same workout. It might not be anything different or special, but if you put a particular intention around it for that day, then actually that gives you something entirely different. And so it might be like a more nourishing or more sweaty vibe, like whatever it is that you've chosen. It means that you can sort of take that and take from that, as opposed to it just being nondescript movement, for instance.
Yeah, amazing. And my kind of final point, actually what I am going to do with those of you that are around, I'm going to do a little training, really applying what we're talking about into a practical training. So join me, it'll only be about 10 minutes. The aim of the training will be to bring this idea of the energy and the intention into a personal subject in your life. But the final thing I wanted to say, Caroline, was I know for myself, and I don't know if this resonates with anyone else, that when I've got a very strong intention in why I'm doing something, I'm less likely to give up. If you've got the intention of why you started something, why you started on your fitness journey, or why you started eating healthy, or why the intention behind why you reduced drinking alcohol, or whatever, you're less likely to give up, because you go back to why you started. What was the intention? What were you intending on starting? So for example, many of us are business owners, and running a business is hard. You know, it's challenging. No one's going to deny that. But if you've got a really strong why, and for me, it's useful that the why isn't always it's not about me. It's about what I'm doing in the world. You know, I think that all of us, if there's some kind of legacy, or we're doing something for someone else, we're being of service, that drives you. And if you hold on to that intention, you're less likely to get distracted with, you know, the complaining and the reasons why to give up on something. The victim.
And comparisons.
Yeah.
I think you've hit on something there, Rachel. I think a key point for people to realize is there is a difference between a goal and an intention. So the goal, someone might come to like exercise or diet changes because, say, they want to lose weight. That might be a goal. But what's the intention behind that? And as you say, that goes deeper, doesn't it? There's a deeper why. And I think that's why intentions can be so powerful, because they're not short term, they're not necessarily performance orientated. They can be set around a feeling or a long-term goal, this vision of our best future self, as opposed to a goal which can lack a little sort of luster for us sometimes. It can be very easy to achieve a little something, and then that goal just goes out the window. But when you've got that powerful intention, as you say, I think you keep going more consistently.
Yeah. Good stuff. So,
I had one other very powerful thing for me in terms of intention, and that was the practice of visualization. Because I think a lot of us run around our lives firefighting. We're in like very reactive mode, and it's like fight or flight. We're putting out the fires, we're just reacting to the things that happen. But I find quite often that if you take the space for a little bit of visualization, and some people do this, say, for instance, like before a job interview, but there's no reason why you can't then use that skill in more like everyday bits of your life. And the visualization for me is important, that you visualize what's happening at the beginning and in the middle and at the end. So if you're running a marathon, you're not just imagining crossing the finish line. What does the process look like? And that kind of mental rehearsal, and whether you bring that to preparing and eating a meal, and that intention of going through that process will change your experience of eating that meal, rather than it just being the achievement of getting the meal inside your body, crossing the finish line. So I'd really recommend to kind of mentally rehearse, to give you that space to bring your intention to it.
Great.
Hi, I'm Caroline Dunn, and welcome to this bit of movement on intention. Now, the actual movement itself Could be anything. It's the frame that we put it around with our intention. So we're going to spend a few moments now setting our intention for our movement. So I'd like you to come to a stand and place your hands by your arms. And then take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth and close the eyes. You don't need to look cool, hip, attractive here. You just need to stand. Breathing through the nose if you can. And then start to bring a bob in by softly bending and flexing the knees. Deep breathing deeply. And as you do this, start to repeat to yourself, release. 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 Beginning to transition into our body, away from the rest of our day and into this moment. Breathing deeply. Every moment, repeating release. And at the end of the next exhale, still the movement. Keep the eyes closed. And from here, we set intention. And try and let something come to you. Let it be something that is aligned with who you are and more broadly with what you want. So maybe your intention is to breathe through tough moments. Maybe your intention is to enjoy the sensations of moving. Maybe it's to learn something about yourself and your body. And breathe, let that come to you. And we're going to approach our movement with this frame of our intention. We might now reframe it into a mantra. And this we're going to repeat to ourselves as we work out. Maybe it turns into, I enjoy the sensation of moving. I am learning something about myself and my body. And every time, say, we take a sip of water, we're going to use that as a reminder to repeat our mantra towards ourselves. Repeat your mantra 3 times to yourself now. One more breath in and out. And then blinking eyes open. Take your first sip of water now and say your mantra to yourself. And now we're going to prepare the body to move. So we're going to go through a little bit of a warm-up using some of the moves that we're going to do today. Okay, so we're going to start off with a tap back and a press. So what that looks like, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. You tap your toes back as you lift your arms up above your head. So it's a tap, tap. And this can be slower, it can be faster than me. We can do it body weight or we can add in a small weight later. Keep that coming. Good, and go for 3, 2, 1. And then from here, separate the legs so they're a little bit wider, bring the arms up and overhead. Stretch out the arms behind you and start to take a squat. Keep it nice and shallow to begin with, so take the hips down and exhale, come back up. And from here, the torso wants to stay forwards, the arms don't want to fall forwards. And go for 3, 2, those squats might get a little deeper, and 1. Nice work. Release the arms, give them a couple of rolls back. Okay, and then from here we're going to balance on one leg and stick the other leg in front. So this leg probably wants to be a little bit soft, not fully locked out. Flex the foot that's in front of you. From here, sink the hips back, tap the heel down, and exhale, come back up. So we're going to call this a pistol squats. But think of it as a heel tap, hips back, and go for 3, 2, 1. And then let's swap over. And stick the other leg out in front of you, soft standing leg, flex this foot. And then send the hips back as you tap the heel down. This can be a very little movement, and you can hold on to something if you want to. And go for 3, 2, 1. And then bring the feet in line with each other about hip distance. Draw your hands onto your legs like they're hanging in front of you. Soften the knees slightly. As you inhale, hinge the hips back as the crown of the head goes long forwards, and exhale, come back up. So this is a stiff leg deadlift. Inhale, hinge forwards, exhale, hinge back up. Try to avoid reaching for the ground. Keep length in the spine. And keep with that hip hinge for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then final warm-up move. Come to the end of your mat space. Bend the knees, walk the hands down onto the mat and walk it out to plank. And pause in plank, squeeze in the glutes, tuck in the belly button, and pause for 3, 2, 1. Then step the feet a little bit wider, and as you exhale, row the elbow to the sky. Inhale, comes back down. Try and steady the hips here. Exhale, elbow to the sky. Inhale, comes back down. One more each side. Exhale, elbow drives to sky. Steady those hips. And last one, elbow to the sky. And then walk the feet, hands in towards the feet. Bend the knees. And we're going to roll all the way up. Woohoo! Okay, we're ready to move. Take a sip of water. Mantra time. Say your mantra again to yourself as you do that. Now, I'm going to use a couple of small weights and a band, but all of the moves that we've just done in the warm-up, you can see you can do them body weight. Okay? So, we're going to take 8 exercises, 50 seconds work and 25 seconds rest. Just once through, but you can always do a second or a third round if you fancy it. Okay, let's get ready. We're going to start off with that tap back and press. I'm going to pop a timer on that you'll be able to hear. So get ready. Either body weights or bring a small weight into your hands. Ready to tap it back. And exhale. Hands above the head as you tap it back. Breathe. Repeat your mantra. That's it. This can be slower, this can be faster. Nice work. And we're approaching halfway. Keep pressing. Nearly there, 15 seconds. Less than 10. Last couple. And release. Take a sip of water. Mantra. Okay, second exercise, we're going to come onto our back. You want to bring a couple of small weights with you if you can. No worries if not. Plant the soles of the feet down and bring the hands up above the chest. Press your lower back down into the mat. Ready? Inhale, send the arms behind your head, keeping your lower back pressed down. Exhale, drives it up above the chest. Inhale, backwards. Exhale, drives just back above the chest. And keep the lower back grounded at all times. This is a dumbbell pullover. It works our core and our lats, our back muscles. Nice work, keep that coming. We're over halfway. Good, keep breathing. Exhale to drive back above the chest. 10 seconds. Nearly there. And release. We're coming up for the next round. Little sip of water. Now you can do this without a strap. We did it in the warm-up. It's an overhead squat. If you would like to use a scarf, a belt, otherwise just hands in the air. Feet wider than hip distance. Off we go. Let's squat. Trying to prevent falling forwards or the arms falling forwards. Whilst you send the hips backwards. Lots to think about. Inhale down. Exhale up. Good, keep that coming. We're halfway. Nice work, nice squats. 15 seconds. That's it. Last couple now. Keep the arms back. And release. Okay, again, sip of water. Next, we're going to do a stiff leg deadlift. We've done 3 exercises, we've got 5 to go, okay? If you're using weights, bring them in front of you. It's a hip hinge from the warm-up. Toes pointing forwards, feet hip distance. Now keep the length in the spine. It's a bend at the hips, not a bend at the knees. Belly button to spine, clench the armpits. This is targeting your glutes and your hamstrings. Nice work. Exhale to hinge back up. Keep that length in the spine. Try not to reach for the ground. We've got just 12 seconds left. Don't forget to breathe, exhaling up. And release. Take a rest. Sip of water. That frame, that intention. Okay, we're halfway through. We've got 4 to go. The next one is a pistol squat, which is a heel tap from the warm-up. Good news, we get a swap halfway this time. Okay, so pick a leg. And from here, send the hips back as you tap the heel down. This can be a very small move. You can also use something to support you by the side of you if needed. That's it. 10 seconds this side. Nice work. And 3, 2, 1, swap it over, other leg, straight in. Keep sending the hips back. Little taps. Exhaling up. We're nearly there. 10 seconds. Last couple. And release. Amazing, 3 left. Okay, so the next one is a side plank. So you're going to bring your forearm down onto the ground. Remember, sip of water, intention. Ready to lift into a side plank. Take a breath. Then press through the elbow to lift the ribs and the hips away. If this is too intense, come down onto knees or step the front foot, the top foot forwards. We're going to do a quick change halfway through again, 10 seconds this side. Keep pressing out the ground. And breathe. 3, 2, 1, swap it round. Quick shift and into the other side. Again, lift the ribs and hips away. Bring that top foot in front if needed. 10 seconds. Last couple. And release. Okay, we're nearly there. 2 left. Sip of water. Intention. Next one, we have the renegade row. This is core and back. We did it in the warm-up. So you're going to bring your hands shoulder width apart underneath your shoulders. You can also do this with knees down. Ready? Feet a little bit wider, and then drive the elbows to the sky. And take this slowly. You're trying to avoid a massive shift of weight, a rocking of the hips from side to side. And yes, the hips will move, but how much can you steady it? Keep that coming. Over halfway. And breathe. 15 seconds. Keeping the hips in line. Doing really well. Less than 10 now. Woo! Down we come. That was a tough one. Have a breather, a little sip of drink as we come up. We've got one last one. So the final one is jog and boxing. A little bit of cardio to finish. If you don't want to jog, then take a march. A march. Okay, last 50 seconds of effort. Ready? Okay, bring it to a jog, and then bring the arms and punch them forwards and back. Remember, you can be marching at this point too. And find a steady rhythm. Settle in. Nice work. We're over halfway now. Last 20 seconds of effort. End is within sights. 10 seconds. And release. Well done. You got through all 8. At this point, if you'd like to take a couple more rounds, then press pause. Otherwise, we're going to frame our practice, finish off by coming back to our intention. So you're probably a little bit out of puff. I know I am, so again, take a drink. And then we're going to come together and meet in a stand. Okay, from here, same as we did before. Take a big breath in through the nose. And an exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Now as you inhale, lift up your open palms to the sky. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, drop the arms, drop the shoulders in an audible or silent ah. And again, inhale, lift up the open palms. Repeat your mantra to yourself. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift up the open palms. And repeat your mantra to yourself. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Amazing, everyone. Now that intention frame can be used for a run, a dance, a workout, whatever it is that you enjoy doing and moving. Thank you for sweating and working out with me.
I suggest you do for this short training, I'm going to bring the idea of how do we get intentional, not only from our mind, but we bring the energy, the power actually from our whole self, which is also from our body. So grab yourself some paper and a pen, is what you're going to need. Grab paper and a pen, and I'm going to do a little training with you to get more grounded, more physical, and then we're going to take this practice of intention into one of your areas of your own life, yeah? So let's start. The training that I'm going to do with you is a 4 times monotonous movement, which is going to go like so. If you can see me, I know all the comments are there. So you're going to start lifting your heels up and dropping them down. And just start with that. Find that movement. So your heels are going up and down. And then your arms are going to go up just to above shoulder height and down. So your heels up and down, your arms are going up and down. You might have a shaking floor, shaking room, and that's okay. So we're deliberately shaking the body. It's working on the skeleton, if you like, on your bones. Okay, and your breathing is the third movement. And the fourth one, you're going to slowly close and open your eyes. So we're just doing a little training to gather our energy, attention, focus before we go into some writing and some thinking. It's a good idea to have all of you involved in thinking, by the way. And you need to be physical. It's good to be physical to think. And the difference in our intention and getting the things that we want through our intentions is when we're behind it fully. Okay, so a couple more seconds, keep going. You're closing your eyes, opening your eyes just slowly. Your heels are moving up and down. You've got 4 movements, including your breath. They're all independent. Yep, keep going. Excellent. And then stop. You can close your eyes for a moment. Even if you feel a bit wobbly, it's okay. Feel the ground. Breathe. And you can even intend to have yourself 100% behind what we're doing right now. So we start with this idea of intention. Intend that you're 100% here, that you're fully here. Okay, and then what I'd love you to do is take one area of your life that's important to you at the moment. It could be, let's take something that you're building, you're developing, or you're wanting. So we've touched on a few subjects. We've spoken about, it could be business focus, it could be relationship, it could be health. Take one subject and write it down. So you're going to write down your subject. So write down your subject. So you can write, intention behind a business, intention behind a relationship. You want to get clear about intention behind something. And it can also be bringing that intention really clearly to something you want, okay? So now we'll work a little bit, actually, Caroline was talking about visualization. So you can either sit, I'm going to stand, you're going to close your eyes, you've written down on your paper the subject area you want to get clearer on, the intention, the why, the reason, why you're doing something, why you're in something, why you're bringing your energy, your attention to something, why, what's the intention behind it, why are you focused on it. So with your eyes closed, and I'm doing it with you, see if you can bring a vision. It can be, now the thing about vision and visualization is you can also really begin to feel into as well, bring the feelings. So think about that subject, whatever it is, if it's your business and there's a goal, or it's a relationship or a relationship you want, or something to do with your health, your fitness, anything. Take one subject. And then what I'd love you to do with your eyes closed is begin to breathe and bring the feeling and the intention of what your aim is. What is it that you're intending in that relationship, or in that marriage, or in that business, or in that action? What's the intention? What do you want? What are you bringing? What do you want out of it, and why? So start to feel into it and feel the energy within you. Yeah, even if it feels a strange concept, and you relax and you gain the clarity with me get clear. What is it that you want with this person or this business or this action that you're taking? And if you don't know, it's okay. Allow the space as you're with me right now in this container that I'm holding for you to be curious. What is it that you want if you don't know? What is the intention behind something you're doing? Your profession or whatever it is that you're wanting right now. Okay, excellent. And then what you can do is, from that clarity, you can just write down. So you wrote down on your paper the subject, and then write down maybe some clarity that came, even if it's a word. Even if it's a word, just write down a couple of things of what your intention is. So I'll give you a minute or two, so you can really write down what's your intention behind something. Excellent. And then what I suggest you do is train, it could be once every day, train once every day in relaxing and bringing that feeling of the intention, the why, the reason why you're doing something, so that then it doesn't just remain on a piece of paper as an idea, but you begin to integrate it into your system, that it becomes an energy. And remember, our energy is powerful. Our energy is our attention. Your energy is what you direct out into the world and what you get back. Like we were talking about, like Caroline was saying, if we're unclear about something, if we don't know what we want, we get nothing back usually. It's the power of our focus, our intention, our energy, our clarity that gives us what we want in life, because it's the frequency, the energy that you're sending out to the universe. And that's quantum physics, right? So you can go and read about quantum physics if you want, but let's just think of it as the things that we're wanting. It starts as maybe a thought, and the more that you can integrate and bring the feelings and your intention and your physicality, which is what I was just doing with you as a short training, I'd be curious to hear back some of your results. That I can guarantee that you'll start to get things quicker. Yeah, so you bring that intention behind wanting something, you relax, and let's see what happens. Yeah, but I would suggest, if you feel like it, train as I did. It's a good one just to stand, to close your eyes, to breathe, to think of something that you get in a space where your mind is quieter, which is why I did that little energy warm up with you. That the more unified you are, unified with your breath, your mind, your body, you're a more powerful vessel as a creator. Okay, so train it. Close your eyes, think about what you're wanting, why you're wanting it, bring the feelings, and relax. Okay guys, hope that was useful. Ping us any questions, we'll be back next week.